All right, guys, it's Jeremy Till coming from CrossFit Central downtown. Guys, we're going to talk about some pain therapy today. Oh, wait, time out. I'm talking about cold therapy, guys. Contrasting from hot to cold, introducing yourself to cold showers, guys. It's a method that I've been practicing on myself for just a short period of time. Been investigating Wim Hof's breathing cycles with the introduction to cold therapy. Really been impactful for me in the sense of just elevating my tolerance for pain or for irritation and overall better blood circulation and just making me feel healthier. Also, I've seen impacts in my overall confidence in the sense I approach things and give me a sense of grounding. So I encourage you to try this out. And what I'm going to do over the course of the last month, I've been able to try out scenarios because honestly, I hate cold. But through the processes of breathing and introduction to the contrast showers, I've seen great results. And I really want to evangelize this to the world and let people test it. I've started to get clients to test this system as well, seeing impacts on the overall blood circulation and inflammation within the body. So guys, this is really all about you testing it on yourself, doing a start date and end date, and really stepping into the process of cold therapy. So contrast therapy, if you will. We're going to go over and kind of run through a scenario of what I do first thing in the morning to introduce myself into the cold and do it in a way that's manageable so I don't hyperventilate or I don't wake up my whole house because I'm screaming. All right, guys, so it's pretty straightforward and simple. First thing I do in the morning is I get ready to get into a contrast shower. The first thing I do is I just come over and I actually turn my shower on full temperature so it's as hot as it can be. I let it warm up, and then I'll take a timer as well that I use for cooking and set it at 8 minutes. And so once I step in, I start my timer. I'll step into the shower, and I'll actually be under the hot water for 2 minutes. Okay, and as I'm getting ready to transition at the 2-minute mark, I just simply shift it down all the way to cold. When you're going through the transition, the first, say, 30 seconds to 45 seconds can be pretty intense. So what I recommend you do versus it hitting your bare chest or your bare back, I started out on the crown of my head, and slowly as I get used to the cold on my top of the head, the first 30 to 45 seconds, then I start to shift it to my back. I'll also stand cross-armed, and as I allow my blood to shift over into the cold, as my blood vessels start to restrict, I'll turn and start to hit my chest as well. So that can be 45 seconds on the back, then I'll flip it over to the front, go maybe 45 seconds, then go back to my back for the remaining 30 seconds. After 2 minutes, I'll shift it back over to the hot, go with that for 2 minutes on the hot, and then the last 2 minutes is really where a lot of the work is done on the psychological level. You've been through the hot, you've been through the cold, you're back at hot, and then you have your last 2 minutes of cold. This is where you can really start to focus your mind, and you start to let the water hit you, and you move away from the pain, and you more move into your focus and your experience of letting the water rush over you, feeling your body kind of adjusting to the cold. And once you're done, you always finish on cold. So you can get done, dry off, and then your body's naturally going to heat back up to its core body temperature. And this is where a lot of the magic happens within the body in the reparative, restorative process of the body reheating. And so it's the importance that you're going to see with your overall, the oscillation of your blood vessels from restricting and expanding. And so it's pretty neat, guys. Anybody can test this. I say one step at a time because now we're going to talk about a little bit more about getting into natural springs if you have those types of accesses in your environment, your hometowns. Okay? Just to recap, the contrast therapy, the contrast hot, cold showers, talking about the process. Everybody's uniquely different, guys, and your pain tolerance and your thresholds are completely different than mine, and mine are completely different than yours. So you need to really pay attention to the hot and the cold and what you can mandate for yourself. And all water heaters are different as well, so you need to pay attention to how hot it is because you definitely don't want to burn yourself. And the time frames. I like the 2 and 2 because it's manageable for me to go through these pain thresholds mentally so I can really get attuned to the last cycle of the cold. So pay attention to your body. If you want to start out a minute and that's going to get you to be able to go to 2 to 2, that's fine by me. I'm moving towards a 2 by 4. 2 hot, 4 cold. That's my next step in the cycle. And then I step into the process of doing cold training with natural springs. In Austin, we're blessed to have these amazing springs. Barton Springs, average 67 degrees. If you go out there in the colder weather, you're going to be a little bit more attuned to hitting that cold and it really adjusting inside the body. So these are natural springs that you can get access to. Really seek out these spots because there's twofold that come into play there. It's the natural environment, getting back into forestry, green like type of areas. That's good for the overall nervous system, and also the adaptation of the cold water with the nervous system. And we know that these will allow you to start to control that or the autonomic nervous system with that parasympathetic, sympathetic state. And we know that it's starting to affect your overall, your nervous system. Start out slow, build, and then go for the plunge. Guys, next up is sub 60 degree water. We're gonna start diving into ice baths. We're gonna talk about that. Guys, some experts you need to look up. Brian McKenzie is doing a lot with cold training and with breathe training, and also Wim Hof. These guys are experts in the field, and we're really following suit with their practices and their skill sets. Brian McKenzie is going to be in Austin June 4th and June 5th doing cold therapy training, breath training, and it's going to be an awesome experience. Guys, dive into the next levels of health and wellness. Check this out. See what's good for you. All right, guys, take care. Boom, I'm on fire.